Welcome back, everybody. Today is check-in day. So, what have I accomplished this past week? Well, first of all, in terms of eating, it's gone really, really well once again. I've ate all week. It's been ribeye steak for my one meal. OMAD, doing just one meal a day. It's been ribeye steak, somewhere between 20 to 24 ounces each day. There's been some days that I had to stop at like 20 ounces because I just was full. I just couldn't eat anymore, that it wasn't tasting good anymore. I could feel that I was full, so I stopped. A couple other times, I ate around 22 ounces, and maybe once or twice I ate a full 24 ounces. So that's been it. Ribeye steak, sometimes a little bit of butter on top, seasoned with Redmond's real salt, and drinking water, just plain water. Okay, so last week I weighed in at 299.2 pounds. That was down 4.8 pounds from the week before, and a total of 8.2 pounds down in the last 2 weeks. Where am I at today? Okay, before doing the actual measurements, let's talk about the weight. Let's get that out of the way. Down another 3.2 pounds, down to 296. So another 3.2 pounds, 11.4 pounds lost in the last 3 weeks. It's trending very, very well. All right, now let's look at some of the measurements. My belly size was 48 inches last week, and this week, down a half an inch to 47.5 inches. Waist was 45 inches last week. It's 45 inches again this week. No change there. Neck. Last week, it went down a bit to 17 3/4. Again, this week, we're at 17 3/4. No change there. Chest, 47 inches, where it's been for quite a while. This week, it's down to 46.5. So I did lose a little bit there in the chest. So overall, you see the changes in, the measurements. There's a little bit happening there, right? The belly, which is from my measurement at the belly button, has gone down a half an inch. So that's getting better. And of course, the chest size went down a little bit as well. I have not been reporting here my thigh or bicep, my thigh or my bicep, but my thigh is down a half an inch from the previous week, and my bicep is actually down a little bit too. And I think that's because I didn't work out as much, so that's down another half an inch there as well. And I think it's just because I didn't work out as much, and that's my guess that, I don't think that there's really much fat in my arm. I mean, maybe there is still, like here there is. I can see here, but here, I don't know. Maybe there is a little bit of fat that I did lose. It's hard to say, I mean, I'm not a very muscular guy, really, so forth. As you see here, as I bake a fist, it's not that much or anything, but I guess there is some belly fat as I kind of look at it. So, yeah, I mean, sure. Maybe that's where the half an inch is. It's not belly fat, I'm sorry, but just fat, body fat. So maybe it's body fat. So those are the measurements. All right. So now I have been doing this really without any cheating, except for one day on May 20th, right? That was my daughter's graduation party. I've talked about that before. It's now been a month altogether with just that one day of cheating. If I start it the day after that graduation party, I'm at like 3 weeks, basically, just a little over 3 weeks. In that time period, going back to May 21st, saying that that's the first day, that'd be the day after the graduation party. So let's say that's the first day where I've had no carbs at all, drank nothing but water. It's pretty much been triple B&E. It's been mostly beef, mostly ground beef or steak, and really mostly steak. There have been some bacon and some eggs, and of course there's been butter here and there, and then just seasoning with Redmond's real salt. So in that time period, since May 21st, it's about 3.5 weeks, I have lost 13.6 pounds. So trending really close to 15 pounds for the month. And that's a pretty good weight loss amount, considering that I had already lost quite a bit of weight in doing this diet. I lost basically just over 60 pounds, like 62 pounds in like the first 9 months or so. And now I guess I'm at like close to 75 or so. I guess I'm right at like 75 pounds. So I'm, about 2.5 weeks away from 1 year on the diet. And I'm pretty much hitting at about 75 pounds of weight loss right now. That's, to me, that's an incredible amount. I know there's people that have lost a lot more weight. Maybe I didn't need to lose as much weight. I don't know. And maybe some of it has to do with not being quite as strict early on, but I have lost quite a bit of weight. I've lost a lot of body fat, and, my belly is definitely getting smaller. There's still a lot more body fat there to go, especially in the belly. And I'm going to continue to plug away with that. But those are all really good numbers. And then I got to go back to the other thing that's been huge for me with doing this diet, just feeling better, having more energy, not getting sick all the time like I used to, or my immune system was run down. No arthritis and joint pain anymore. The list can kind of just continue to go on and on. Like, I had a little bit of depression. It wasn't really bad, but I did have some. That's gone. Just so many good benefits that I have seen. And, another thing is AFib. I had AFib. I have not had any issues with that. My heart rate has gone down. Before going on this diet, my heart rate, average resting heart rate, was typically around mid to upper 60s. Now it's normally between 58 and 60. And as I've gone through, and before I got really strict, I always knew when I had carbs, whether I didn't really think about it or not. I would check my heart rate and it was higher. So if I would eat something, let's say I'd go to a steakhouse and I'd have a steak and some mashed potatoes and a side. That evening, my heart rate would be a little higher. And for about a day or so, my resting heart rate might be 64, 65. And then it goes back down to around 60. Again, it's usually typically between 58 and 60. So if I go really good where I haven't had any carbs for a good week or two, it's usually closer to 58. So that's another thing. And, again, the heart rate, blood pressure. My blood pressure used to be really high. I was on blood pressure medication from about age 28, I think, 28 or 29, until in 2017, I lost a good amount of weight and I went off of the blood pressure medication. And, for probably a good 6 months or so, it was good. Then I started to gain weight back. And as I gained the weight back, I needed to go back on blood pressure medication. And before going to carnivore, even with the medication, it would tend to trend a bit high, like 130 or 135, which isn't really bad, really high. But when you're on medication for it, that is kind of a little bit high there. So trend 130, 135 over like 85, maybe 88, somewhere in there, right? And it's trended downward. Matter of fact, the last reading that I just took was 123 over 74 with a pulse of 65. So blood pressure has been much better as well. And it's just amazing how when you cut out the carbs, the sugar, the processed foods, how your body just heals and it reacts well to that. And all the different issues that you have either get better or get completely reversed to where you don't have them anymore. So those have been all my experiences here. And I'm really looking forward to a couple weeks from now. I'll be right at the 1 year mark, and I'll definitely do some kind of video going over how I was when I first started and different periods, going through the diet here, different periods of time, and just showing my progress and so forth, so you can really see all of that. And also, don't forget, I am having blood work done. So I am having blood work done tomorrow morning, and hopefully I'll get those results quickly, and then I'll get a video out with the the whole results from my blood work and everything as well. So go ahead and like this video, share it on social media, and if you're not already subscribed, then subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I go over my carnivore journey all the time, and I'm going to have blood work at 1 year coming up. So I already have the one video that is out there from 9 months on the carnivore diet, and I'll put a link to that in the description. And then I'm going to have this new blood work here that will be for 1 whole year at that point on the carnivore diet. And I also have some interviews with some other carnivores that are going to be coming up on the channel here. So really excited about some of the future things coming up on the channel. So stay tuned, everybody. Keep plugging away with your journeys and stay strong.